Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into what's become a new imperative for any modern digital enterprise. It's a really fundamental shift in how businesses are judged, and it goes way beyond just speed or scale. It's all about building unwavering trust. So let's kick things off with a pretty big question, because honestly, the answer has completely changed. As we head towards 2026, the old rulebook for what makes a company successful is basically being torn up and rewritten for our digital first world. It's not just about what you can do, but how you can prove it. And that's the core of it right there. It all boils down to one word: trust. As pretty much every company digitizes everything, all your stakeholders, we're talking customers, partners, regulators, your own board, they're demanding provable, trustworthy outcomes. Good intentions just don't cut it anymore. They want cold, hard proof. All right, here's a quick look at where we're headed today. We're going to start with why this is such a huge deal now. Then we'll break down the 3 pillars that build this trust. After that, we'll look at a really common problem, silos, and then talk about the solution, before wrapping up with what the new standard for success really looks like. Okay, first up, this new business imperative. The thing is, we're all operating in a super high-stakes environment now. Every digital operation comes with just unprecedented levels of risk and scrutiny. Everything from your supply chain to how you handle customer data is basically under a microscope. So, in this kind of environment, how on earth do you build that essential trust? Well, it all rests on 3 core pillars. Think of them as 3 capabilities that every modern business absolutely has to get right. Let's dig into each one. All right, pillar number 1 is assurance. And it's all about answering the most fundamental question that everybody is asking today. Can you prove that your systems and processes are actually doing what you claim they're doing? This is the real cornerstone of modern governance. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, when you see the before and after. The old way was all based on intent. We wrote a policy, so we just assume it's being followed. But the new way, it's all about proof. We're moving away from those once-a-quarter manual checks to continuous, automated validation that gives you real-time, verifiable evidence. It's a total game changer. Let's move on to our second pillar, which is resilience. Now, while assurance is about proving what you do, resilience tackles an equally critical question for when, and I mean when, not if, things go wrong. Can you keep the lights on? Can you keep your critical functions running, even when there's a major disruption? And you can see that same kind of evolution here. Resilience isn't just a reactive IT disaster recovery plan tucked away in a binder anymore. No way. It's a proactive, strategic ability to adapt. And it doesn't just cover IT. It covers the whole business ecosystem. Your people, your processes, your suppliers, the whole shebang. And it's all built on the assumption that disruptions are going to happen. And that brings us to our final pillar, audit readiness. This one is all about transforming compliance from this painful, cyclical thing people dread into just a constant state of being. It answers that key question. Are you ready to prove you're compliant at any given moment? This really shows how the best organizations are escaping that fire drill mode that happens before an audit. Instead of some huge disruptive project with tons of last-minute scrambling, audit readiness just becomes an operational condition. The evidence is always being collected, so being compliant is just a natural byproduct of running your business well. Okay, so we've got these 3 powerful pillars: assurance, resilience, and audit readiness. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch, and it's a big one we see in most companies. Even if you have these pillars, they're often totally disconnected, and that creates a massive structural flaw. This is what we call the silo trap, and it is everywhere. You've got your GRC teams handling assurance, IT and security handling resilience, and internal audit handling, well, audits. When these groups don't talk, you get a mess. You get duplicated work, inconsistent data, and, here's the scariest part, you get huge gaps in visibility. Basically, you create blind spots where all sorts of risks can hide. So, how do we fix this? How do we break down those walls and get that true unified strength? Well, the solution is to bring these 3 functions together in a unified operating model where they actually support and reinforce each other. And this is where a concept called a digital value management system, or DVMS, comes into play. You can think of it like the central nervous system, or the glue, that binds these 3 pillars together into one single cohesive model that works across your whole digital business. And here's the magic of how it works in practice. A DVMS creates this incredibly powerful reinforcing cycle. It all starts with assurance, which is constantly gathering verifiable evidence about what's actually happening. That evidence then feeds directly into your resilience efforts, making them way smarter by pointing out weaknesses before they can cause a failure. And because this is all happening seamlessly, all the time, the entire system means you are always in a state of audit readiness. Each part literally makes the others stronger. So let's pull all of this together and take a look at what this new standard for success really looks like. Because this integrated model, this is the new benchmark for what it means to be a trusted, competitive, and truly modern digital business. So what does it all boil down to? It's about building an organization that can, at any given moment, confidently answer yes to 3 questions. Can you demonstrate your performance? Can you sustain your operations no matter what? And can you account for everything you're doing with hard evidence? Nailing this, that's the definition of a modern, credible enterprise. And we'll leave you with this one final thought, because it's the ultimate test of readiness for the future. It's the question every single leader needs to be asking themselves right now. Is your business built to just make promises, or is it built to prove them?